game's prepared yet.
You need to try and pick off the units as. Look at the shields on the mark themselves.
Oh my god, the drone's gonna take him.
And here we are, folks. Game number 2. I'm ready, HD. Are you?
Oh, I'm ready, man. I mean, we just saw the first game with Rhett going for the very uncharacteristic cheese. What do you think is going to happen in game 2?
I don't like I said. I mean, I don't think Red is going to try to be as aggressive as he was last time. I think Nerchio's going to be a little on his toes, so expect a little bit earlier scout here.
He'll definitely be on his toes, man. Mm-hmm. And especially since, this map is Shakura's Plateau. And as a Zerg player, I know that every Zerg loves to go 15 hatch on this map. Mm-hmm. So for Red to do an early aggressive build again would be completely just out of the box. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, absolutely. But we do have Nerchio spawning as our red Zerg down here at the bottom right-hand corner of Shakura's Plateau. His opponent in the top left-hand corner is the one and only Liquid Red. So he is spawning as our pink Zerg player, and both players are building up a little bit of resources. Doesn't look like any super early pool, so at least thankfully no cheese this time around.
Yeah, it looks like both players will be playing a macro game this time around, which is to be expected. As I said before, it is Shakura's Plateau, and it's a very easy map to 15 hatch on because your ramp is very narrow, and then it leads onto the shared ramp into your main. Nerchio here will not be throwing down the hatch first, rather it looks like he's going for a 14 pool here.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Usually you open up with 15 hatch on this map, and I can't help but wonder maybe this is because he's worried about the potential rush.
It's very possible. I mean, he does have the one scout heading over to Rhett's base right now, so that did come about as early as I had expected, and he's going to get in here and see that early expansion. Now, really, it's the question of how he follows this up. He already has the gas down. He's already committed a gas and pool. He'll put down the expansion next, but does he go through the process of creating Lings and a Queen before he expands, or does he try to get that down a little bit quicker to compensate for that very early expand out of Rhett?
And regardless, though, Nerchio is going to be a little bit behind in terms of build because he opened up with the pool first, whereas Rhett opened up with hatch first. And I honestly don't know if Nerchio can apply enough aggression on this map to compensate for that build order discrepancy. So it will be a little bit difficult for Nerchio, but like you said, it's going to be important to see what he produces here. He has 4 Zerglings right now, and what will that next egg be? If it's more Zerglings, look for aggression. If it's just a drone, then I think he's going to go into a hatchery.
Yeah, this could actually be a pretty strong... There it is. There's the drone coming up after that. So your intuition's probably correct. Yeah, the drone even heading out. He's going to put down a hatchery here in just a second. Surprised he didn't just allocate his scouting drone for that purposes, but just interesting little micro decision there. He is going to move out. Rhett has about 15 seconds before that pool comes up. It'll be a little while before he's able to get any Zerglings in place. So there is a possibility of these Zerglings forcing drones off the line to do a little bit of defense, and that could help to compensate for the amount of economic damage that he is suffering not having up that earlier hatch.
Yeah, here comes these Zerglings. Possible he may be able to do a little bit of damage, but highly unlikely that he'll be able to do enough because, as you guys can see, Rhett not producing Zerglings. He's just getting speed. Oh, yeah, there we go. I was getting confused with the colors there. There's the Zerglings coming out, so a little bit of drone loss in terms of mining going on there, but now Nerchio will have to fall back with his 4 Zerglings, and he'll have to play catch-up from here on out.
Yeah, but he did get the first couple of hits on those Zerglings right there, so Red is going to have to pull back until he has reinforcements. There you go. Now finally managing over a few drones over to his natural. Nerchio finds himself in a decent position as far as harvesters overall go. Of course, with the second Queen coming up for Rhett, he is going to have much better larvae production.
Of course,
but I don't know. I think Nerchio's choice right now, I no joke, I didn't see the Baneling Nest coming up. I was about to say transition in tech.
Yeah.
And there we go. Okay, so the Baneling Nest coming up, and that's certainly going to be beneficial as that's coming earlier than Rhett's willing to commit.
Yeah, kind of interesting, Cats, because he's going for this Baneling Nest somewhat early, which indicates to me that he wants to either prepare for a massive Baneling attack with Lings and Blings, or he's worried that Red is going to all-in Ling him, so he's getting Banelings just in case. It's one or the other at this point, because typically you don't get a Baneling Nest after you get the hatchery down. Typically you'd go straight into roaches, since this map really is easy to get roaches out and just hold this very narrow ramp with just pure roaches.
I've I've got to say, I think Rhett's making a big mistake here. It looked like he was committing to two-base ling all in there, and I don't think that's the decision he needs to make right now. He can play the more macro-oriented defensive game. He's going to run it with these Zerglings. That's going to do nothing. I don't know if he caught wind of the Baneling inside of his nest or not, but Nerchio already has a ton of Banelings ready. I don't like this decision from Rhett.
And here comes the trap here. Nerchio has been waiting with 4 Banelings in the background. Oh, one Baneling going off on some of those Zerglings here. And oh my god, Nerchio may kill off a horde of Lings! Oh, the Lings going down for Rhett. Rhett losing almost every single Zergling right there. And Nerchio in firm control of this game, doing exactly what he needed to do despite the economic disadvantage, the hatchery disadvantage. He runs in with several Lings right here, and no response from Rhett means the drones will go down.
Yeah, I hate calling early games, and I think this is as good as GG. I mean, that's a decent little wall right there, but it doesn't matter. Those Banelings aren't going to get up in time. These Queens are going to fall regardless. There we go. Finally, some units swinging into the main. That's what I was looking for, and Rhett is already essentially out of this game. This was a beautiful, beautiful play by Nerchio, and I just think, oh man, Rhett's decision-making was not what I wanted it to be there.
I feel like Rhett should have just played the macro game from getting the hatchery down first. He knew he was ahead economically. Rather than going for the mass speedling, I feel like maybe just going for pure roaches and then droning up behind that would have been the wiser decision, so to say. Unfortunately, things didn't quite swing that way, and now he's got to deal with Lings in his main. Things for now have stabilized, but more Lings are coming out from Nerchio. And Nerchio, if you look at that economy tab, is ahead by 7 harvesters. He's about double the supply of Rhett. And you called it, Cats. It's almost all but game.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much going to be it. I mean, here comes Nerchio with one last big attack. Are there
Perhaps the
any
Banelings can do it?
Oh,
no! Beautiful control by Nerchio.
Nice job pulling off individual Lings off the line just to make sure that those Banelings don't do maximum damage. Very, very nice play there. This last Baneling is going to take out 4 Lings, but it's still not enough. The tug of war is going to go to Nerchio, and he's going to be able to reinforce very, very well. Even droning up through this process, Rhett trying to do the same, but now he doesn't even have defenders for these leftover Lings after that battle.
Yeah, this is a problem for Rhett. He cannot afford to drone up because he has to consistently produce Lings to deal with the pressure, which means that he's going to fall further and further behind in economy. You guys can see now Nerchio is coming in with Lings once again, forcing the drones to come off the line. I can't help but feel that Rhett will GG very shortly, and there it goes. So Rhett losing a second game in a row to Nerchio, but that doesn't mean it's over. This is a best of 5, guys. We're very deep in the losers bracket, and talk about pressure, Cats. It's on the line now for Rhett to perform. He has to win 3 games in a row.
Yeah, this puts Rhett in a really interesting position as well, as it's usually in these sorts of positions that the person who's up 2-0 can take a risk, do something really cheesy, can do something out of the ordinary. So Rhett's really got to be on his toes. He's got to play an exceptionally safe game next time around, and I don't know if it's in him. Nerchio has got to have him shaken up a little bit.
I'm sure he does, but at the same time, Rhett, his home base, his turf, so to say, is macro games. I mean, we haven't seen a macro ZVZ out of him in this series yet. And he's tried to be very aggressive.
And I do love Rhett. I gotta say, I love watching his games. I love watching his play. Just been kind of an interesting series from him. Really atypical, something that's completely out of the ordinary. We'll see if we see the old Rhett in game number 3.
I hope we do, because I think that's where he's going to shine most. So stick around, guys. Game 3 is coming up right after this.